paranoia.
We've got Minority Whip Joe Borelli, the fine New York City councilman, Fox Business's Deirdre Bolton, and last but not least, my good old buddy, Charlie Gasparino. Charlie, the Amazon thing first.
Story in Axios.
Right.
That essentially said Trump hates Amazon, thinks Bezos controls the Washington Post's editorial direction, that attacks him constantly, wants to break him up.
Now, he has, and his people have been critical of what they think is favorable tax treatment that Amazon gets.
They do get some favorable treatment.
Right. But let's explore this.
Okay, so now here's why. If you own the stock, okay, the question is, do you sell it now thinking that, they're going to come under a lot of pressure? I'm just going to throw a couple things out there. Reporters are often, I'm not saying this is what happened with Axios, but reporters are often manipulated by people who are either long or short of stock. That's why people call you, right? Here are some confluences that make me wonder if this isn't plants by a short seller. Number one is all the comments in that Axios story, and it's a pretty thin story. It's like 3 lines across. We're basically known. I mean, Trump has been talking about this for a long time. Why now? Or at least, expressing his hatred for Bezos and all these, and Amazon and Washington Post. So why now? That's number one. Number two, if you saw yesterday's New York Post, there was an ad attacking Bezos saying, "Hey, Mr. Trump." It was like it was essentially addressed to President Trump. Do you know that Jeff Bezos, who constantly attacks you, I'm paraphrasing, but not too far off, is getting a $10 billion no-bid defense contracting deal to use? He'll use that money to attack you further. Do you want him to keep doing that?
Where was that ad?
It was an ad in the New York Post, and people are pitching this story that there are shorts on this, that people are taking short positions on this. My guess is that why is this coming out now? It doesn't take a complete conspiracy theorist to say this could be a plant by someone who's short. Now, I don't know that to be a fact. Jonathan Swan, who wrote the story for Axios, is a good reporter. And by the way, reporters talk to longs and shorts all the time.
Right.
And sometimes they're right. And sometimes they're right. And by the way, here's the thing. Would it surprise you, really, that Donald Trump was going after Bezos because of the Washington Post coverage when he's clearly going after Time Warner AT&T deal because of CNN? I mean, it's just not that much far of a reach.
And there have been even some people on our air, the NYU Professor Scott Galloway, actually making a case as to why big tech should be broken up. Now, he's coming at it from a very academic angle, and it sounds kind of preposterous when you first hear it, but then when you see all the stumbles that Facebook has had with data and privacy, maybe you begin to think cynically. I think the second
Wasn't he basing it on the fact that every industry that Amazon steps into, it kills an industry?
Yeah, he's saying it's hurting the next gen much as Amazon, or rather much as Microsoft hurt Netscape back in the day.
Let's just say the Washington Post was a big-time Trump supporter. Would Donald Trump care about the antitrust or the implications of their tax treatment and everything else? I mean, I just doubt it. You know what I'm saying? I think everything with Trump when it comes to these businesses, because listen, he makes some valid arguments breaking up AT&T, Time Warner. It's still, when you listen to the testimony, which I have been, it's a stretch to basically think of all this bad stuff coming. Can
I tell you what I think is going to just make this go away, though? Amazon's second headquarters is going to go right near Washington, D.C. All the Congress people's kids can go work at Amazon, and all of a sudden, the antitrust or monopolistic charges just kind of evaporated.
Well, why would...
Joe, could I ask you one second? I do want to get Joe into this. Is it your sense, though, that the friendly, laissez-faire days for technology are over? Now, whether Donald Trump plays a role in that, clearly the Washington fires are lit here to target, to go after their pricing mechanisms, how they go about taking care of or the privacy of their users, et cetera, because this is spread way beyond Facebook and Amazon. They're looking at Netflix. They're looking at other industry darlings that might now be reined in.
And I think the political will is actually there now, as you saw the Cambridge Analytica scandal blow up. And by scandal, it's essentially something that had been done for so long by so many different companies suddenly coming to the forefront. I actually agree with Charlie, and we talked about this earlier. The only people who probably like planted stories more than financial reporters are political reporters, and I think there might be something to say about what you had to say. If someone planted a story that Trump going crazy on a company, I think you have a number of reporters, including Jonathan Swan, who are willing to put a story on.
Well, listen, I like Jonathan just full disclosure, and short sellers talk to me, and I write stories that help their short position. Not that I'm trying to, it's just the way the facts lay out. And maybe Trump is ready to pull the trigger on Amazon big time. We should point out, though, my only hesitation here for a guy or a gal that owns the stock is that there are a weird confluence of events here. There's maybe other reasons to sell your Amazon shares, take your profits, because tech is now coming under a lot of pressure. We know there's a secular change.
Ask about
but this short selling thing.
And we should stress, as we did now, with even all the fall off today, you're still up more than $600 in Amazon shares than you were about a year ago at this time. Having said that, if you look at it, Facebook under pressure, Apple now under pressure, as a lot of people are calling into question its iPhone sales, whether there's a demand deterioration, whether at Netflix there's a feeling that it's a comeuppance from its highs and will fall in sympathy. We mentioned Amazon, we mentioned Tesla, Moody's downgrading its credit rating, and Deirdre, right now, growing concerns as that stock has lost 15% of its value in 2 days, that the government is going to start looking at that crash a couple of weeks back in California. But in other words, the government's sniffing around way beyond President Trump. This is just now an odd confluence of developments.
Yeah, I do think the government is beginning to look at all of these tech companies, and in some of the specific cases you referenced, with very good reason. Facebook being one, and also Google and Twitter invited, heavy emphasis on the word, to testify on the same day with Mark Zuckerberg in front of the congressional committees. Uber, of course, the company, NVIDIA, the chip company, saying, okay, we're actually not going to test this driverless technology on public roads anymore because there was a pedestrian who was killed in Arizona. So I do think there are lots of reasons for government to be looking into some of these tech companies which have gotten so big and so powerful.
But if they start the regulating route, all I know from experience when they've called the energy guys up or the banking guys, their intentions are good, Joe, but what happens is they go too far. And that's the nature of the beast. Pendulum swing too far, either toward no oversight or restrictions to pound the hell out of them.
Well, right, and that's what I was going to say. I think it's evident on all fronts that the pendulum is starting to swing back against tech. And again, some of the cases, like someone getting hit by a driverless car, there might be some real good reason for the government to regulate what's happening. But you don't want to go too far where you actually stifle some of the more innovative people that have been out there and actually have a deleterious effect on the overall market.
And I think you got to look at...
Trump should be afraid of that.
Yes, and I think you got to look at each one of these companies separately.
Absolutely.
Now, here's the thing. Facebook, Twitter went down, got crushed yesterday because there was some talk about preventing them from reselling their data, right? There was some... That's what they make 15% of their profits by reselling customer data. We should point out that Facebook, just so you know, as bad as the Cambridge Analytica thing sounds, they really don't resell customer data. What they do is they package it, they craft it, and they tell advertisers, here's how you can reach these target audiences.